So welcome, Lisa. Lisa Grogan is the CEO of Overlap Associates. That's a design thinking firm that specializes in tackling complexity and specifically within the mining industry, bringing together, what Overlap has to offer as, first of all, a certified women-owned business. Congratulations on that. And also, someone who possesses this deep experience in a set of tools called design thinking. Um, Tell me a little bit, Lisa, about how those tools are relevant to the mining industry, and maybe you could share an example or two of how you've seen that impact.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Artemis, for arranging this day. This is really, I'm already hearing so many great themes and, just sources of inspiration. So maybe I can touch on some of that. But yeah, we're a strategy agency really that leverages the power of design to solve for people-based complexities. And I think in mining, obviously it's an incredibly complex sector, incredibly complex spaces. And there are a lot of people-based complexities in mining. And so our work, we're all about really the idea of bringing people into solution spaces. So our work is all about really understanding where are their problems. Quantitative data tells us all sorts, like it can point to where there's an issue, but it doesn't tell us the story of why. So our work, and Erica, you've known us for a long time. We started back in 2011, and you'd say the word design and people would be like, what? Whereas these days, design, human-centered design, design thinking, anyone that's done an MBA, they've had some exposure. And I think that we really see that, sometimes we need to bring in non-traditional approaches to really scratch under the surface and understand what's happening for people. And I think in the mining sector, our focus has tended to, address two, there's a lot of people, but two main areas: community relationships and employee relationships. And so, our work is always about really understanding, what's happening, where are their problems, where are their hot button issues, where are their chronic issues that we have not been able to move the mark on. And so our work is all about really coming in and scratching under the surface and really engaging with people in many different ways to understand where their needs are, what their experiences are, what their perceptions are, and then to surface those insights and then co-design solutions. And so we're great believers in bringing community into solution spaces with guardrails. There's always things, that there's always things that we can't change. But when we can bring community in and they feel that their voices are heard, we know that then the solutions that we implement, we're going to have better buy-in. We're going to accelerate the work. And actually, to the profit point, we actually do support profit because we're able to work through issues in a way where we're de-risking the solutions because we've involved people. Employees, especially in a mining space, I mean, split-second decisions matter. We know that in a production environment. And so we know that when we engage employees in things like health and safety, when they've been part of designing what those policies and procedures look like, they're going to be adopted faster. And so it's interesting because this is the work that we've been doing with organizations of all kinds in Canada, the US, and globally. And our path to mining was actually pretty organic. We often get called on, we're a boutique professional services firm, and we often get called on when maybe an initiative has gone wrong or an organization just isn't moving the needle. And maybe they've worked with one of the big four. We love it when we get a call after they've tried Deloitte or KPMG and it just didn't work. And so we're able to come in a nimble way and, make impact pretty quickly. And that's what happened back in 2019. We got one of those Hail Mary passes. Someone from a mining company here in Canada had heard of us. They were having great issues with employees at a mining site. And so we were brought in. Again, this word design sometimes throws people off. They're like, well, we'll give it a try. We've tried everything else. And we were able to come in, get on site, send a team, get on site, and really start to unpick what was happening at the employee level. We did some really robust problem mapping, and again, surfacing insights and ideas that, that some of them were quite net new for this company. And I think the value of bringing in a third party, we come in with an unobstructed view, and people will share with us more openly than they would with leadership or staff at the company. So again, we come in as that third party, and we're able to facilitate not just that insights part, but facilitate then how are we going to solve for this, and what kinds of tactical plans can we put in place to solve.
That's fantastic. So it sounds like you're able to really produce breakthroughs. I mean, you're able
Yeah.
to tackle problems where traditional methods have not been successful, or, traditional including let's hire a big consulting firm. And there's the saying like no one ever got fired for hiring
Hard.
IBM, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
in going with a smaller business like a firm like yours or many of our Artemis businesses, we were talking about this yesterday, there's a perception of risk sometimes. However, what you bring to the table is something so new, and it sounds like it's so customizable. Like you're really able to zoom in on exactly what they need. So there's
Yeah.
no waste, there's no misalignment, and you're able to bring something home, bring it over the finish line where other approaches were not working.
A
Is that fair
hundred
to say?
percent. Yeah. No, that's 100%. I mean, we've been at this since 2011. So we have tried and tested methodologies, and our facilitation skills are excellent. Where again, we can come in where teams have gotten totally stuck or they're in paralysis, and we're able to pull people together. We've worked with UNICEF Canada since 2014, so consecutively for over a decade, which we're very proud of. And we've also that has introduced us to working with UNICEF globally. And our work with UNICEF, that's an incredibly complex organization. It's huge. And the work with them has been varied over the years, but that's stuff like we've got 30 country heads flying in from 30 different countries. We've got 2 days. By the end of it, we need alignment on this policy. And so Overlap will come in and facilitate those highly complex spaces. And so again, we're able to go into different industries. But what we found in mining is that because we're bringing such a different approach, or such a fresh approach, and really opening things up, we're moving beyond a survey. Oftentimes we find in some of the more traditional spaces, well, we did a survey, and it's like, well, the survey did not give us what we needed to truly understand what's happening and to truly bring people into how we're going to do things differently and move toward a brighter future.
Cool. So it sounds like folks in community relations, potentially, also employee engagement,
Yeah,
maybe HR, maybe health and safety, like you kind of subtend quite a few different functional areas.
yeah,
It sounds like you would be able to assist with problems they're struggling with in any of those
yeah.
verticals.
And a lot of executive alignment. So we do a lot of the traditional like strategic planning and strategy road mapping, because it's kind of, we surface all this stuff, and then it's like, okay, what are we going to do about it? And it's aligning, it's that bottom up, top down. So we go wide, we go divergent, we figure out what's happening, and then we need to make sure that we've got alignment with how are we going to solve this? What are we going to prioritize? How are we going to solve this? So again, it can be anything from the UNICEF example, like it's a 2-day thing and we need a policy at the end of it, to multi-year initiatives where, we're doing this work and implementing, supporting implementation beyond.
Very cool. And I love what you're saying. I wonder if this is going to be a theme with all our speakers today, that we're going beyond profit. We're working on the people impact, and we're working on the planet impact, the environmental impact. And in doing so, we actually create more economic prosperity, right? Like the three are
Absolutely.
not mutually exclusive, they mutually reinforce each other. So it sounds like there's a business case for what you do, and there's also a people case around it as well.
Absolutely. Well, like I say, people come to us when they've been like knocking their head against the wall for a while, and they need something different. And so again, we're able to come in and be nimble. And I think on the business case, I'll give a plug for you guys at Artemis. I'll just say, like, I think that in terms of building sustainable businesses, like all of us here are starting something from nothing is incredible. And I think as women entrepreneurs, it's very, very important for us to be part of networks that are promoting ourselves in the ability to build sustainable, profitable businesses. We all want to be profitable. And I think that, opportunities for small business to connect with corporate is, just being at the table can be game changing. And it means a lot. It really means a lot to see the Artemis corporate members engaging and taking place, because I think as we're all building businesses and, as women entrepreneurs, like it's hard. As entrepreneurs, it's hard. As women entrepreneurs, it's hard. And I say this as a mother of 3 daughters, one of whom has just finished first year of engineering at Queen's and loving it. And but I think the sacrifices that we have to make, all the demands that we have as women, it's hard landscape. It takes courage, it takes bravery, it takes resilience, all the things. And so I think that, having networks that high tide floats all boats is really, really significant. So Heather, I love that you've started this amazing network. And again, bridging that gap between small business and big business means a lot. And again, just being at the table, being able to pitch for work, and just being able to compete, it means a lot. And so I think that there's absolutely, each of us has our own business and outlook and business case. And there's certainly that hopeful optimism that we can actually come in and help. I always say, again, jet ski to the cruise ship. We can come in and really drive impact quickly. And we know that.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Lisa. That's really beautifully said. And it's occurring to me, we've been talking about moving the mining industry forward, not just in terms of profitability, but also looking at this triple bottom line, this balance of measures of success. We also each have that for our own businesses, right? I mean, as our own business, we want to make money. We need to make money to keep going in business, and we want to have an impact that we're proud of. We want to do things and connect with people and serve, right? So that's actually a great reminder. Appreciate that.
100%.
Well, Lisa, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to
Thank
speak
you.
with us and to get our conversation off to an excellent start. We will make sure that everyone has the contact info they need to get in touch with Lisa and learn more about Overlap Associates and how mining companies can put the power of design thinking to work for them in collaborating with Overlap.
Thank you.
Thank you.